Genius or suicide? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Right Opinion, the home of a twat with too much free time, and Trump sure does enjoy his Twitter charades. And today, I decide to take it upon myself to look at some of these charades of recent, because at this point, they are just unavoidable, and I would not be doing my job as a critic of the bizarre and entertaining if I were not to cover them. Donald Trump is the 45th President of the United States. It has been a journey to his election, and now after his election. As we have noted a few times, his very upfront, audacious attitude can be a virtue to voters. It was certainly before the election, and although I did not support him, I saw his victory coming a mile away. One of my problems with Donald Trump was that I just didn't think he had enough political experience to uproot the system that he claimed he wanted to. Now, in a sense, it may have seemed like a better choice than going with Hillary Clinton, someone who knew the system and clearly had no intent to uproot it. For many people who were scorned by the establishment, it seemed like a clear choice, and I've spoken about my distaste of Hillary Clinton on multiple occasions, so we will not be going down that rabbit hole again. Part of Trump's success, however, did come from his rugged approach, most importantly on social media, where a wave of strongly targeted campaigns brought out results in certain demographics. Notoriously central to this social media drive was Donald Trump's Twitter, which was pure, unfiltered Mr. J. Trump, and would be used to gain more attention through his rather bullish statements that he made on the social media account, rather than actual diplomatic problems. It seemed to mostly work, with the media focusing on trivial stuff that people didn't really think about. A few breakthrough moments tore through Hillary Clinton's uninspired campaign and gave him the win. With that said, it was a tentative win, and although he won on states, he didn't win the popular vote, so he has always been walking on thin ice. There were a few elections in 2017, and these were the ones that were going to test his popularity. How did it go? And how did he respond? I mean, he's kept up the whole persona since the last election, and although that has worked on some levels, particularly in distraction politics at controversial points, it's also muted a lot of public response and left a lot of people rather ambivalent. Now, incumbent presidents normally tend to perform worse on midterm elections and elections that are between them. In 2017, we had a few elections, and the Republicans did not have a great showing. But as I said, that isn't a huge surprise, but I did notice one thing afterwards. Donald Trump has seemed to up the Twitter drama, with some very diverse figures. The first is North Korean President Kim Jong Un. After the head of state regarded to him as old, Donald Trump took to his Twitter, and when I read it, I just sat there grinning, wondering what was going on. I mean, you can read it for yourself. He pretty much deals a very passive-aggressive backhanded insults and says, I could call him short and fat, but I won't, which basically means you are calling him short and fat. And then he suggests that they could be friends. Just amazing. I feel like Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump have this beef going, which seems to be leading to a playground rap battle rather than all-out nuclear war. I mean, all they do is shout insults at each other in the most immature fashion. I trust there's a strategy behind it, but I'm not really sure at this point. When Trump did the whole Kafifi typo, I thought it was a very effective distraction technique, but it just keeps on happening. And let us not forget the tale of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun. What I think epitomized this was his even more bizarre feud with Lavar Bull. When Donald Trump intervened in the arrest of 3 basketball players, Lavar Bull, the father of one of the players, refused to thank Trump. Now, if you've watched the interviews with Lavar Bull, you'll realize he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. This should have been a proverbial slam dunk for the president. Back to Twitter he went, and off on another rant about how he should have left the players in jail. And amusing as this is, it really makes me wonder what on earth is going on. Another golden moment was when he responded to an article made about him saying, "Make America great again," in all big caps lock. And at this point, I'm just done. Is it that time of year? 2 points can be made from this. I feel that Trump is better at dealing with smart people than he is at dealing with stupid people. And as bizarre as that sounds, I genuinely stick by it. I think that he could have very easily dealt with Lavar Bull, but for some reason, he just felt it was more necessary to get down on his level and just throw the insults back. Maybe he's got a plan, but I don't know. Another point that can be made is that the aspects that are in part what propelled Trump to his presidency are also the ones that are becoming the most notorious part of his term. I want to think it's some sort of elaborate plan, but I'm failing to see the bigger picture currently, though I would love to hear some theories about it. Part of Trump's rhetoric that drove his straight-talking persona was the fiercely anti-establishment approach, but now he's part of the establishment. Although he should hold on to his roots, he does need to act slightly within his powers and avoid the Twitter issue becoming people's main concern, because if you look at the polls, when people are noting your Twitter as the most detracting aspect of you, there's something not quite right. It worked before before the election because people didn't really care about it, but if you make people care about the issue, then they may side against it, and that would be ill-advised indeed. If one thing has been proven in this term so far, it's that you could have the most bombastic, ideologically skewed president and still end up with very little difference than if you had a moderate president. It has demonstrated how immovable most of the DC swamp is, and you'd really have to vote someone in with a balance of experience and principle to achieve that, but unfortunately they're normally exclusive disjunctions. Anyway, I'd really love to hear people's thoughts on good old Mr. Trump's Twitter. Has it worsened over the last couple of months? I mean, it wasn't great before, but you know what I'm saying. Or do you simply believe, once again, it is receiving more coverage? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Until then, I'm The Right Opinion, and I'll see you in the next one.